You know those goals that you've set? Those big dreams that you've been chasing? Well, here's a revelation for you. Some of them might be making you miserable. As you've hit goals in the past, and even as you manage to achieve some of these bigger goals in the future, it's not uncommon for us to feel a sense of discontent, even after having achieved the goal. I had a light bulb moment recently reading The Power to Change by Craig Groeschel. And so I was reading his book, and I was coming towards the end, and there's this chapter called Going From So to Who. And it sounds like it could be a chapter from a Dr. Seuss book, but I assure you it's not. And there's a really great idea in here. In that chapter, Craig points out that as he was starting to become more successful in hitting some of his goals, he noticed something. He noticed that even as he was achieving quote-unquote success, he was never actually satisfied. He recognized that the goals that he set always left him wanting something more, always left him needing to set another goal to stay motivated, to keep going, and that they were always a means to an end. It was always a goal that opened up the possibility of something else. And what he meant by that is that we so often set achievement-based goals. So you set a goal saying, I'd like to lose 25 pounds so that I can look better in my clothes, so that I can then attract a mate and maybe one day get married. Then maybe something like, I've got a goal to get good grades so that I can get into a good college, so that I can get a good job. And then once we've set these goals, we grind, right? We pour into them. We want to get there. Hustle culture at its finest. I'm going to find a way to make this happen. But there is something incredibly dangerous about these achievement type goals, because even if we don't say it out loud, even if we don't say it clearly or directly to ourselves, what we do when we set these goals is we say, you know, when I reach that point of having lost the 25 pounds, or when I get good grades, then I will be happy. Then I will celebrate. Then I will experience joy. Then I will live in contentment. But the thing is that achievement goals are a hamster wheel that never stops. You lose 25 pounds, but then you immediately set a new goal for maybe how much you can bench press, or a body mass index that you'd like to get to. You get into the right school, you get the good job, but then you have the new goal of the promotion or the raise or whatever it is. There's always something that's in front of you, always delaying the contentment, never really achieving that level. We begin to believe that we need the goal to keep us motivated, and so we keep setting the goals to keep us moving, and underlying all that, we keep deferring the contentment. We keep delaying the joy that God wants us to have in our life. And all the science and logic about goal setting points in this direction of achievement-based goals. We know that we need to have goals written down. I've talked about this. They need to be specific. They need to be measurable. They need to be time-bound. We need SMART goals. And we put these things in front of us, and they help us move. They do work. They actually push us in the right direction. But if it defers your contentment, if it delays your joy and gets you in motion, getting in motion was never the goal. And when you begin to see this sort of underlying trend, you start to see that, wow, my goals could actually be making my life more difficult, more challenging, more discontent than I had ever planned. So what's the alternative? Well, Craig proposes in his book that we need to be setting goals that are about who we can become. And this very much aligns with what James Clear talks about in Atomic Habits, where he talks about having identity-based habits. That picture of who do we want to become in the future, and then walking that back to the habits that are going to help us become that person. There is a big difference between having the goal of wanting to run a marathon and becoming a runner. Both of those people might run the marathon, but once the marathon is completed, the chances are that the runner is going to keep running, whereas the person that only had the achievement-based goal of running the marathon is going to stop running. And then all of a sudden they're on the yo-yo up and down of, well, what's my next goal? What am I shooting for next? And will I be happy when I get there, once I've achieved that, as compared to just becoming a runner, becoming a healthy person, living a healthy lifestyle? And the truth then becomes that if you really want to stay in motion over a long period of time, it's actually an identity-based goal about who you're becoming that actually keeps you moving, because you can celebrate those wins each and every single day as you move to become more of that person. There's a big difference between being a published author and being a writer. I know this in my own life. I published a book and then I stopped writing because I hadn't identified that I wanted to become a writer. And so writers write every day. I don't write every day. I'm creating every day, but I'm not writing every day. But there's a big difference that's going to actually keep you moving between who it is that you want to become versus the goal that you set. And now there are a lot of great identities that you can be in pursuit pursuit of, to be a great father, to be a great spouse, husband, to be a great coworker, partner, or leader. All great things to shoot towards. But what I love about Craig's book is that he says there's actually only one identity that really matters, and that is the pursuit of becoming more like Jesus. And what I love about that idea of being a pursuit of becoming more like Jesus is that you can never arrive, right? Like, I'm never gonna be that, but I can take steps every single day and celebrate the wins of moving towards that, moving towards loving like he loves people, seeing the world and having compassion and care for people, loving and taking care of your family the way that Jesus wants you to, living out your purpose, living out the gifts that he's giving you in the way that he wants you to. That's a never-ending pursuit, so I'm never going to arrive. But then on the flip side of that, I can celebrate the win of every single day, taking a step in that direction. So today I want to encourage you, let's get off the hamster wheel. Let's sow into prayer and discover more of who God wants us to become. Ask him to speak into your life. Practice gratitude. Live out gratitude in your life for everything that you have, all the incredible blessings that are in your life right now.